Hi, this is Pierre-Yves Delacote, working at Planet Technologies. Let's tackle a hot question. Do you need change management? Is it important, change management? Is it important when you're deploying a technology that you have a strategy around change management to foster end user adoption? Or is it a fad, or is it really useful? I have a lot of questions like that because it doesn't seem to be mandatory to do change management. What seems to be mandatory, and you understand it's pretty mandatory to deploy the technology, because if you don't deploy the technology, obviously you don't need any change management because there won't be any change. So that's actually it's a good question, and to answer this question you need to do the math. So let's do the math. Let's say you're going to deploy a new technology to all your end users, or most of them, and though let's say that people are using this technology after a while. So do the math. How much time do they spend on using this technology? Just do the math. Is it, I don't know, overall, do they spend 50% on the technology, using the technology every day? Or just 5% or 1% or 0%? So the more they're using the technology that you're going to provide them, or you already provide some technologies, the more there could be a return on investment that they better use the technology. So as an individual, if you make people more aware of what they can do or more trained how to do it, then they will save time. And the only resource that we cannot manage well is the time. So if you can save time to your peers, to the employees, to the workforce, that will be great. So you need to do the math to understand first where the technology is used, how much it's used, how many hours do you use your technology every day. And then you might want to provide some readiness material or a strategy so the people can ramp up on better using the technology to do things faster, and sometimes also to bring more quality. Because if you save time, you basically you provide the best value to your organization. But again, once a customer told me that if he was convinced that technology could change people's lives and can bring tons of value and save tons of time, he said, you know what? If I give back time to people, how do I know that they're gonna use the time for good things? That was an interesting feedback. So okay, if you do things faster, first, are you doing things better, or are you doing mistakes faster? Or are you, because you're using technology better, maybe you mistakes are bigger and faster. So it's not just about saving time as an individual, but also it needs to serve a global purpose that is really useful for everybody. So I will say that change management is there to help you define, identify what are the areas where you get the most value of the technology and you save time, bring quality for the individual, but also for the teams and for the organization. So you need to align all those goals together, and change management is there to help you define that and identify that. It's not always easy, especially when you're deploying technology, new technology that are disruptive, like Microsoft Teams. So do the math, look where people are spending time, losing time in repeatable tasks with where there's not much of value and where the technology can automate those tasks. And also look where changing a little bit the behavior within while using the technology will bring even more advantage or more value to your peers, because it's not just about um, because you have a better tool that you will save you time to do things. If you're doing things that are not useful faster, that won't change anything. You will do more things that are useful faster, but at the end of the day, there won't be a lot of value. So sometimes when you're deploying a new technology, especially around collaboration, it's a good opportunity to look at what your behavior is, and if you should change it, if changing your behavior in terms of collaboration will benefit the rest of your team or their organization, and bring more alignment between people, between business units, between departments, between agencies, whatever. So change management is really helpful in that context. To finish this video, I will say that the best people to do change management are not consultant like me, because we're here to help jumpstart the change, define some pattern, help you to understand that what is the process of change management, because change now is perpetual, especially in the digital era. It's changing all the time. Everything is changing all the time. So you need to have a change strategy and to sustain the change forever. So we're here to help you design this strategy and jumpstart it. But the people who need to handle the change are the employees and the managers. So you really need to build that in-house and do the math. You don't want to do change management everywhere, but where it brings value, and where it brings value, it's where people usually spending time, and that time doesn't bring a lot of value. So identify that and build a strategy around that. That was the tip of the day. Is change management useful? The answer is not always, or even on around technology, new deployment. You have to identify where the technology brings value, save times, but useful time, so you can leverage the time that you earn to do something else that has more value. And so that was a tip of the day about change management. Is it useful? I have a bias. I think it's useful depending on your understanding of your context or not. And you definitely can build yourself a change management program, and you can also ask for help to jumpstart the change. Hope it was useful. Just comment if you think that change management is not useful or is really useful. Give us some feedback of your experience. Thanks.